welcome back to my channel. So a couple days ago we made our corn dollies. We made a girl corn dolly and we made a boy. So it reminded me of a Samhain altar that I made. The altar incorporates a lot of different aspects of Samhain. For example, it honors the dark goddess. It has divination, and it has honoring the ancestors all at one time. So it's really it's a fun and interactive type of altar, but it's also deeply meaningful. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to make some divination oil. And I actually started doing this, so it's already halfway made, so I'm not going to, but I did pour some out into another container so I could show you again. I got really hot and I had to go into the house. So you're going to start out with some carrier oil, and I just used some EVOO, some extra virgin olive oil, but you can use jojoba, apricot kernel, really anything. But you want to kind of decrease the sensitivity that you're going to have to, because it has cinnamon oil, it's going to have cloves and ginger, and those things can be a little irritating to some people. Also orange. So I filled about halfway up with the carrier oil, and then we're going to grind these. I have some star anise, and star anise is great for, it's an all-purpose divination herb. We're going to use yarrow flower, which is great for love divination. But any divination, but especially love divination. Mugwort. Mugwort is an all-around great divination herb, but it is especially good for dreaming. If you want to induce communication through dreams. Next we have angelica root, which this helps you get in touch with your higher self, and it has a very high vibrational energy, which is, I'm sorry, that was ginger. We'll talk about that in a second. So the angelica is right here. But as I was saying, yes, it helps you, is named after the archangel Raphael. So we put a little bit of ginger, and ginger is a great herb. It's warming. Ginger, cloves, cinnamon, those kind of really warm herbs always remind me of that time of year. And Samhain, for those of you who do not know, Samhain means summer's end in the Gaelic language. It is a time when everything is laid to rest. Everything kind of dies away. The nights get very much longer and the days get shorter. It's a time when the veil between the worlds is the thinnest. It is your best opportunity for communication with your deceased loved ones, ancestors, because the veil is very thin. So I'm going to grind these herbs up. So this doesn't have to be ground, really fine, because it's gonna go in an oil. So something like this. Let me see if you can see it better. So I'm just going to put a little bit in my oil because I already have some in there. So you want your mind to be very sharp and open when you're doing any kind of divination, and especially whenever you're working with the spirits. So the first oil that we're going to put is going to be sweet orange. And I love the smell of orange. It is very invigorating. It opens your mind. It sharpens your mind. It clears stumbling blocks for you. Cinnamon is an all-around, it's my favorite herb. It enhances, it strengthens every other aspect of your work. It's a fire herb. It's stimulating. It gets things going. And finally we have jasmine, which is a great divination herb. And then I'm going to give it a little shaky shake. And then I'm going to smell it. Oh, it smells really good. I can smell the orange and the cinnamon come out really strong. I'm going to put this in my little altar box thing. So my idea behind this was, the first aspect is to honor the goddess. So you're going to say some words and then you're going to light the goddess candle. Now, if you incorporate the god into your practice, then you would also light that candle. I don't normally do this. I do sometimes, usually at this time of year, at Samhain time. And I believe in the duality. I believe in the feminine and the masculine aspects of everything, that everything needs balance. But I tend to be partial to the goddess. So, that being said, that's what I have first. And then I have a cauldron, which you're going to need. I have a little, it's kind of like an altar box, but it's in the shape of a black pumpkin. And it has cinnamon, bay leaves, it has a pin, and your anointing oil for you. So it's going to go right over here. Next, we have, this is a little plate that I made up, and it has different herbs and crystals in the shades of purple. Purple is to open your mind. It's to open your mind and have it ready for the connection, the psychic connection. The calcite and carnelian, this is for clarity, it's for sharpness of mind and to open your mind, to clear any stumbling blocks that you might have. Then I have black obsidian, black tourmaline, and black is for the absorption of negativity. So whenever you call your ancestors, you're going to want to have an offering. I have black beans and black tea. It's black cinnamon tea. You're going to have something to call them with, which you're going to need a bell, a chalice for water or wine. This right here is witch's salt and some sequins, just because I wanted to make it look a little jazzy. And that is for your protection. Whenever you're working with the spirit world, especially at Samhain, because the veil's so thin, you want to make sure that you have extra protection. And I'm going to tell you how you can do that. You can even have extra protection for your home, your area. And just a candle snuffer in black. And I'm just going to have it right over here. And then a wand. and chicken foot. No Samhain altar is complete without your chicken foot. I made this one several years ago, and it's pretty much a staple at Samhain time. It's pretty cute. Put this right down here. We have our candles for psychic connection and clarity of mind. Let's see what else. You can keep some incense on the table. I also have cinnamon in here, which is great to burn. It has a really high vibrational energy to it. It's of the fire sign. It's an all-around great herb. These are black feathers, and they are representing the cycle of life as well as protection. So how are we going to get that extra protection that we need? So when you are going to cast a circle, you can cast a circle that encompasses your whole, like I do my whole building. You can do your whole home. So some extra ways that you can fortify and protect. You're going to make some witch's salt. Across your thresholds, you're going to put a line of witch's salt all the way across it. When you get through doing that, you're going to say, "Not one may enter who wish to harm me or mine. None with evil intent from this world or that may cross this line." So the next thing you're going to do is on your doors, you're going to get a small piece of paper. You can write it directly on the door if you're not concerned about drawing on your door, which most people are. And you're going to put a sigil on there. It's a sigil of protection, and you can make your own, or you can use mine, which looks like this. Then you're going to say, "I call on the goddess and the elements for, that none with evil intent may pass through this door." The sigil of protection is filled with their power. It's strong, impenetrable, and it began this very hour. So that's a circle, witch's salt across your thresholds, sigils on your doors. Then you're going to take witch's salt and you're going to put it in the four corners of either your room or your house, however you're doing it. Them in a little apothecary jar or something to that effect, because it's very messy and you don't want to just pour this out. Sometimes I'll put salt. I'll sprinkle salt, regular salt, but I don't do witch's salt because it has charcoal in it and ash. So as you put the salt in each corner, each time you're going to say, "This salt will absorb and deflect all negativity and evil intent. Salt is a barrier and a shield to which all forms of negativity must yield." Now, you may have to make something here, which is really not difficult. But if you have witch's balls, which is a ball that has things inside of it, the villagers would hang these in their windows because they believed that it attracted the evil spirits. They would be so enamored and in awe of the beauty of this ball that they would get trapped inside of it. So you're going to hang one in each window. So as you hang the balls, you're going to say, "I hang this witch ball to trap and ensnare any form of negativity that wishes to penetrate my lair. Banish and bind them and keep them at bay. I do this in the name of my goddess Hecate. So now we have our oil made. We have our layers and layers of protection, so that even if you forget to cast your circle, you're still going to have lots of protection. The first thing that you want to do is call on the goddess. And you should, because it's Samhain time and it's the dark time of the year, you should use a dark goddess. My goddess is Hecate all year round. She's the only one I really work with. There's lots of others. So you're going to say, Samhain is upon us once again, life and death and life again. This is a cycle that will never end. And now is the time for the veil is thin. Without darkness, there would be no light. So I honor you, my goddess Hecate, this very night. You're going to light her candle. If you do a god candle, you can light his candle as well. You might say some words. So now you're going to call your ancestors. If you have a specific ancestor, the way you do this is you're going to call them out by name. Do it is you're going to say his name or her name. John Doe, son of Jane and John Doe Sr., born January 1st, 1899, deceased January 1st, 1999. You're going to ring the bell, and you're going to do that 3 times. Then, if you're just calling general, or if you called specific, you're going to say, I call my ancestors, I call my kin, a bit of your wisdom I wish to partake, and for your time and offering to take. And you're going to fill the water, you're going to place some beans and tea. It'd be good to have a little plate. I didn't think to do that at the time. So basically you're asking for their wisdom, you're asking for communication. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to anoint your candles with the oils that we made. Okay, so I know it's really hot when my dog wants to go inside because he wants to be right beside me 24/7. He's a fat old pit bull dog. He's 11. I've had him a really long time. So I did not tell you all about this. So the thing in the middle is a scrying mirror that I made, and it's actually the top to a candle. It's a candle lid that I just painted it black, and it works really well. I don't know if it's because of the shape of it, the way it, you know, catches the light or whatever, but I was looking at it the other day when I made it, and I saw a home movie in it. What you do is you take, I put it down here when it was wet, that's the problem. Okay. You take the lid of your candle and you're going to flip it over. And you're going to spray paint the inside of it. Now you may have to spray paint it. I think I did it 2 or 3 times. You don't do this outside part. You leave this like it is. And then I like to pick it up because I like to hold it a certain way. And you're going to get the angle right that you need. And that's how you're going to scry. But this is a very inexpensive. I mean, if you have a candle, you have a lid probably. You can get a dark colored bowl and you can pour some oil or some water in it. This is how Nostradamus, this is how he got all the predictions that he made. He was scrying in a bowl of oil, I believe. So that's one method of divination that we're going to have on our table. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to anoint your candles. I don't really want to get this oil all over me today, so you're going to anoint your candles, and you can bring the oil in because you're trying to gain knowledge. You can do it that way. So you're just going to set your candle up right in the middle. It's like liquid. It's still liquid. It's summertime in Texas, y'all. There's more than one way to skin a cat. That's what my mom always said. So, my first form of divination is the scrying mirror. The second one is the tarot. Now, this is my favorite deck. It's the Golden Universal Tarot, and it has gold foil. And let me show you some of them. You've probably seen it. Here's the Hermit. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to light some incense. And I have a cinnamon stick here. Now, cinnamon can often be hard to light. So sometimes you can put a little oil on it or something like that. I love the smell of burning cinnamon. Oh my gosh. It smells like baked cookies. I light this incense to guide your way and lead you to me this very day. So, the wafting scent of the cinnamon, the smoke is going to lead the way. Now, you've already rang the bell, you've already lit a candle. It's only making me hotter. So, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your bay leaf and you are going to write a question on your bay leaf. I love bay leaf magic. It is very simple. I love to make an altar and just have, you know, cauldron, bay leaf, something to write with, a lighter or two because they get stolen somehow. And it's very interactive. Your whole family will be in on it because, you know, they like to burn stuff. I know I do. I'm a fire witch for sure. My sun sign is in Leo, which, you know, that makes sense. So you're going to write your question. And if you have a specific ancestor, you're going to write their name and date of birth on there. And then you're going to burn it. I just like burning things. I'm going to put it in here because I have too much air flying around right now. Ooh! It's hot in Texas, y'all. You know, I've never burnt myself. Never. In all the years that I've been playing with fire, I have never burnt myself. But let me tell you something. Y'all need to be careful. Please use caution when you're playing with fire. And don't leave it unattended ever. Now that I have done, much to my own chagrin, because I walked away before for no more than 5 minutes at the most. I came back and my spell plate was completely gone. It had burnt down that fast. There was something dark at play there. I redid the whole spell. it was crazy because I was having a hard time starting it. I was having a hard time completing it. And once I did finish it, I had to redo it again. And I was like, oh no, I need to concentrate better. Then I knew something was up, so it wasn't. It's a long, dreadful story, but it actually has a happy ending in a way. Well, for me. Cinnamon cookies, snickerdoodles. So you asked your question, you shuffled your deck, and I don't know how you all do your tarot decks, but I do not shuffle them like they're a freaking pack of poker cards. And I've had people, and I don't have any qualms about it. I don't care if people touch my cards. I think, you know, if I'm doing a reading for them, it's great to have their energy on there. I don't worry about things like that. But whenever I see somebody do my cards like, shh, I'm like, oh, honestly, I don't ever say anything because I don't know. I've gotten to the habit now of, if I'm doing that, then I'll say, just whenever you shuffle them, you need to shuffle them like this, or, you know, in a pile. So we asked a question. Now we're going to lay out our answer. Ooh. So what do we have here? This is Temperance in reverse. So what is that telling us? You need to look to your spirituality. You need to not worry about worldly things. Perhaps you're indulging a little bit too much. Maybe you like to drink and maybe you're drinking a little too much, or engaging in sexual activity that's not healthy, or, you know, gambling, something like that. This is a warning. This is telling you, you need to ease up. You need to ease up. So then we have, now we have the Hierophant in reverse. I like the Hierophant in reverse because the Hierophant is about very traditional things. It's about, you know, marriage, you know, things like that. When I see the Hierophant in reverse, it's saying that you need to look at something in a different way. Maybe the traditional way is not the way for you, so you need something different. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles is telling you that you're doing well in your career, but there's fixing to be some kind of shift. It just came to me what this means. You have a job that causes you to have to smooth, what's the word? That causes you to have to entertain your clients, or you take them out to dinners and so on and so forth. When you're doing this, do not succumb to temptation. Keep it professional. Keep it 100% professional. Otherwise, it's going to be a detriment to you and your career. You need to start looking for something different. You need to start looking for a new way of carrying out that which you do, because there's fixing to be some kind of shift in your market or your choice of career. There's going to be some kind of shift, or it's going to be overrun, and you need something that sets you apart. It's got to be something different, and you need to learn a new skill to go along with it. I don't know what that is, but You've been thinking about it. You've been thinking about it, thinking I need to do this. You need to do it, and you need to do it now. It's very important. That's how I'd read it. Anyways. And you know what? That might just be for somebody. There might be a reason why you are listening to this right now. And if it pertains to you, don't think that it's by chance. There's no such thing as chances like that. I mean, if you're walking down the hallway and you trip and fall and break your leg, that's a chance, okay? But no. Something like this, and hearing what you already know to be true, having it confirmed, do not ignore this warning. I have 2 decks that I have out here. Now this is the Marseille, and I kind of put it out here because it was purple and gold. But one thing I want to say about the Marseille tarot deck, it's very plain. What I do is I will go through and I will take out the major arcana. The ones with pictures on them. If I need to know a number for whatever, how many days, how many weeks, when is this going to happen, how long is it going to take, I will use this deck. This deck is great for that. It's great for numerology. So I'm not going to sit here and take all the major arcana, but what are the chances of pulling it? If I do pull it, it's going to be a card for somebody. So I ask a question, and now I want the answer. Judgment. When you see the Judgment card, that means that because of what you've done in your life, how you have behaved, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You have paid your price. It can mean that, or it might mean that you are judging someone too harshly, or someone's judging you too harshly. What are the chances? Okay, so I pulled the number 7. So 1 week, that's your answer. 1 week. Not 7 months, not 7 years, but 1 week. That's when it's going to happen. So I feel like I should do one more card before we move along. I don't know, it's a feeling. The Knight of Cups. Temperance. And the Ten of Pentacles. You have just met, or you are about to meet, the man of your dreams. He's going to seem too good to be true. He's going to come riding in on his white horse with his cup of love all ready for you, and you're going to be like, huh, I've been here before. No, you are too good to be true. But no, listen, he's the real deal. And he's going to bring to you, what's the word I'm looking for? He's going to bring to you stability. He's going to bring to you goodness, good things. I believe it's going to be some kind of spirituality that you're going to grasp onto. At first you're going to be reluctant because I don't feel like going to church type thing. And it may not be a church, it could be a pagan path. I don't know. But whatever it is, you are going to, it's your calling. And in some way, this is going to lead you to abundance, material wealth, and abundance. So, our last form of divination is runes. So here's the runes. I make these and I sell them in my store. These have rose petals in them, glitter, mica powder, alcohol ink. They're really pretty. I chose these because they're purple. So you get 27. There's 24 runes, and then there are 3 blank ones. So here's this set. I have a rainbow set that I made. We'll put them in here this way. And I'm not going to go into all kind of readings like I did with the tarot. This is our Divination Ancestor Altar. Now I'm going to finish setting it up so that you can see what it looks like. Because I did not put up the star of our show, which is the corn dollies. And back last October, my grandchildren came and we made jack-o'-lanterns. And they went out in my backyard and planted the seeds all around the back porch. This is what happened. One pumpkin grew. The vine was enormous. It wrapped all the way around the porch, on both sides. But this pumpkin, look at it, look at right here. It is in the shape of a triangle. And this is how I picked it. I said, oh my gosh, this pumpkin started carving his own face. That's what my family thinks I'm crazy. I thought it was funny though. So my mama says that, or an animal might have ate it. And I said, I know, Mom, I think it was bugs. I was just saying that because the story sounded better. It was really cute. I love her to death. So anyway, let me finish setting this up, and then I'm gonna show you pictures. I'm gonna take some movies of it. But in the meantime, I hope that you enjoy my video. I thought this one was kind of fun. I talked a lot, and I like to talk sometimes. Not all the time. So I'm going to make this look real pretty and take pictures and movies of it. And that's the end. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.
Close all the curtains. Stay on the phone. We are the monsters holding you still. We are the gallows up on the hill. Answer the question. Is God on your side? We'll be together We're under your bed. We hide in the dark. We are the monster, an army of one. We are the monster, a hole in the sun. You're the beginning, we are the end. Hold on to nothing, there's nothing we'll last. As you fall in love, we make you fall deep. 'Cause we are the monster. We are the monster.